Today in the EU, who is the Telegram boss and why is he being prosecuted in France? Telegram founder Pavel Durov is under formal investigation in France as part of a probe into organized crime activities on the messaging app, according to Paris prosecutors, making this case a rare instance of a tech executive being held personally accountable for illicit activities on a digital platform. But who is the Russian-born founder of the popular messaging app? What is the investigation of the French authorities all about? And can the European Commission have a say on the role of tech companies regulating online content? Hello and welcome. I am Evi Kiori, and this is Today in the EU. To break down all that is happening with the Pavel Durov case, we're joined by our Paris-based technology reporter, Théophane Hartmann. So, Théophane, to kick off things, can you tell us a bit more on Pavel Durov? Who is he and why are we talking about him right now?
Yes, so Pavel Durov is a Russian-born citizen who is also a tech icon. He created multiple social media and messaging apps, the first one being VKontakte. And just after founding Telegram, the messaging app that is also, in a way, a social media.
And it eventually became the largest social network, the most popular social network in Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, and a bunch of other post-Soviet countries.
Pavel Durov said in an interview at the beginning of the year.
He had issues with the Russian government because apparently the Russian government asked him to provide some information about Ukrainian citizens that were manifesting. So he decided to go in exile and live in the United Arab Emirates.
So when the Russian opposition started to use VK to organize large protests in Russia, where like almost 500,000 people would go and protest on the main square or some of the main squares of the city, we were requested to ban these communities on VK by the government. And I refused.
Or at least that's the story that Telegram has been saying, because there are some Ukrainian people who believe that there are still links between Telegram and the Russian government. There's even an association called Kremlin-Gram that believes that there are ties between the Russian government and Telegram. But this shouldn't make us believe that there are, because at the moment, Telegram is rather well known for not cooperating with authorities, which is a reason why he was prosecuted in France, actually.
And now we're coming to what is happening right now. What specific charges have been brought against him? What is this investigation about?
Well, actually, a lot. From the press release of Paris Tribunal, there is at least 12 charges. They are wide-ranging. They go from sharing child sexual abuse material to organized fraud, criminal association, also laundering of proceeds derived from organized groups, or providing cryptology services aiming to ensure confidentiality of illegal groups. So basically, maybe to sum it up, this is an investigation based on criminal law. And that's quite important to say.
And how did Durov respond to the investigation? Do we have any reaction from his side?
Yeah, actually, this is exactly why I was saying that it's important to remember that it's a case brought on criminal law. Because basically, we don't have a reaction from Durov himself, and his judge has not answered too many questions. But what we have seen on social media is a lot of people that are not linked together considering this is an attack on free speech. So we had the Russian government saying this because Durov is still a Russian citizen, although he got the French citizenship in 2021. Elon Musk, ex-owner and billionaire, supported Durov. Also, the former candidate of the US presidency, Robert Kennedy Jr. Said it was an attack on free speech. And also the official reaction from Telegram seems to say something similar, because they posted on the 25th August a message saying that Telegram abides by EU law and that its moderation is within industry standards. But in fact, we're not talking about free speech here. We're talking about criminal law.
Now, a significant part of this story is connected to France. Théophane, you're reporting from Paris, as we said. How exactly is the French government involved in this situation, if it is at all?
So that's exactly why I was talking about this free speech debate, because those people believe that everything is politically motivated. But tweet by Emmanuel Macron, 26 August, actually called all those allegations fake news. And he recalled that in France, justice is working independently and that everything is up to the judges. He's writing really clearly that nothing has been politically motivated.
And is this case evolving in France because he has the French citizenship or because he lives there? And why does he have the French citizenship in the first place?
Actually, we don't know. First of all, he doesn't live in France. He lives in the United Arab Emirates, and he got arrested in France on a private jet coming from Azerbaijan and landing in Paris. He was arrested because the inquiry was open for quite some time, and since a month, it was official that there was an arrest warrant against him. So most probably he knew that he would be arrested if he came to France, and he still did. So one of the unanswered questions is, why did he come? For the rest, it's happening in France because actually it's quite interesting to read the press release that was sent yesterday, because there are a number of different authorities working on the case. But inside the document, they also say that they were in discussion with European partners inside the Eurojust partnership, and that Belgian authorities were also constating that Telegram does not respond or is almost not responding to judicial inquiries. So that's also why he was prosecuted, because Telegram, as a company, does not work with a judiciary.
Now, you already mentioned that there is a heated discussion around Telegram in general, and it has become a favorite platform for far right-wing groups, serving as a shelter for many extremist organizations as well. How does the case against Pavel Durov tie into the larger discussions about the role of tech companies in regulating online content?
The most important thing to bear in mind is that Telegram is widely used because there is very few to none moderation teams. So basically everything is possible, and it's been widely used in order to sell drugs, share child sexual abuse pictures. Anything is possible. And it's been used also in authoritarian regime in order to share pro-democratic ideas, and the other way around, of course. It's particularly important in Ukraine, where apparently the Russian government is using Telegram in order to hire new recruits. And apparently it's still widely used by the Russian military. It's very much used by Ukrainian citizens who got a lot of information about air attacks, for instance. They got the notifications quicker through Telegram than through the normal alert system. So basically, there is no moderation and anything is possible.
And what about the European laws on this? What's the situation?
In Europe, we should flag as well that there is this new law on online content moderation, the Digital Services Act, where the Commission might regulate big platforms, but Telegram says that they don't meet the threshold, so that they are not liable in front of the Commission. And the Commission has been asked about its position on the case, and basically they don't comment. Because once again, this moderation debate is not really the case here, because he's been charged with criminal law issues.
And do you think that the aftermath of this specific case has brought the issue in the discussions in the European Commission? Have we heard anything from that side regarding the EU law compliance?
I think the Commission will never comment on the judiciary of a member state, as long as they don't have enough information, and also it's not for them to comment. What's for sure is that there is a debate whether or not Telegram meets or not the threshold. And we've had confirmation from the Commission that they are still working on this. So Telegram might be designated by the Commission as what we call a very large online platforms, which would make Telegram responsible of complying with EU law in front of the Commission. So this is what might happen if they discover that actually the numbers of users within the EU meet the threshold. Otherwise, I don't see them commenting on an inquiry at the moment.
Just wrapping this up, what is the most important thing that we should keep in mind?
I think what's important here is that for the first time, there is a tech CEO who's been arrested. And so it's normal that there is quite a debate, also talking on free speech at the moment, because the arrest of Pavel Durov is, of course, very geopolitic, even though it's a decision made by judges. And we will know more in the coming months because the inquiry is still ongoing. Pavel Durov has been freed, but he has to pay a bail of 5 million euros, report twice a week at the police station, and he cannot leave the French territory. So we will know more in the coming months. This can take even years, the prosecution.
Well, thank you very much, Théophane. I am Eva Chiori, and this was Today in the EU podcast. Visit Euractiv to stay on top of the latest news. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can find us on all streaming platforms. You can get in touch with us by leaving a comment or a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Your reviews help us a lot to spread the word about our work, but also understand what topics you like listening to. So please do leave one. This episode was produced by Miriam Saez de Tejada, Nicoleta Yonte, and me. Thank you for tuning in, and until tomorrow morning. As part of our commitment to accuracy, inclusion, and transparency, Euractiv is part of the Trust Project.